The year of 2024 is upon us. A new year, new hopes, and every year has its own blessings. But a second before the transition to this new year, I feel the need to remember and remind all of you about the terrible disaster that fell upon the people of Israel on October 7, 2023. Yesterday, IDF spokesman Brigadier General Daniel Hagari projected in his daily statement a message from an IDF soldier, Uri Magadish, a 19-year-old female scouter who was rescued in an IDF operation from Hamas captivity. I want you to listen to one of the most difficult testimonies of an IDF soldier who was captured by the terrorist organization Hamas.
My name is Uri Magidish, and I was held hostage by Hamas in Gaza and was rescued by the IDF and the ISA 2 months ago. Hamas kidnapped me on October 7 from Nahal Oz base. They kidnapped us. Some of us were only wearing pajamas. They murdered my closest friends and many others. I was there for 23 days, which felt like years. My friends are still there, held among women, children, sick people, and the elderly, while their family members are all awaiting their return. Despite my pain, loneliness, and fear while I was there, I had hope I'd be rescued. I pray that my friends who are still being held hostage have that same hope. We must do everything we can do to free our hostages.
The word hope echoes in me, because without hope, the people of Israel will not go through this disaster. With hope, the people of Israel survived the Holocaust. With hope, we returned to the Holy Land of Israel after 2,000 years of exile. Hope is my blessing for 2024. And now to Israel's front against Hamas in Gaza. In the El Buraj camp, in the center of the Gaza Strip, the IDF's 188th Combat Team has been operating since the beginning of the week. During the operation, intelligence information was received about the entrenchment of dozens of Hamas terrorists inside a school, together with the civilian population of Gaza. The terrorists took advantage of the high presence of civilians in the school area in order to launch RPGs and small arms at the troops while hiding behind women and children. During precise and difficult operations, an IDF combat team entered the school, eliminated 2 of the terrorists, and managed to detain a few Hamas terrorists for questioning without harming the civilian population who were in the building as hostages by Hamas. Again, in many places we see terrorists forcing the Gazan civilian population to surround them while they conduct attacks against IDF forces. In Jaina, in the northern part of the Gaza Strip, fighters identified a terrorist cell operating near them and a terrorist armed with an RPG. An Air Force aircraft attacked and eliminated the squad that approached the fighters. When the combat team entered the depths of Gaza City in the last day, they received fire and entered into a difficult battle in which dozens of Hamas terrorists were shooting at them from destroyed buildings. The IDF eliminated more than 15 armed terrorists using the Air Force and ground units in less than 3 hours. In Bet Lahia, in the northern part of the Gaza Strip, IDF combat team fighters destroyed 2 military buildings that were used by Hamas terrorists. Before the attack on the buildings was carried out, the fighters located many weapons, amongst them explosive charges, military equipment, and radios. While the fighters were finding the weapons depots, they identified 2 enemy observers in a building near the rest of the forces, and after making certain that the identification of the terrorists is accurate, an armored force fired from a tank at the building where the observers were staying and eliminated them. On the outskirts of Shati inside Gaza City. During searches of activists' homes, a force of Combat Team 14 came across a kindergarten, and inside it, the IDF found terrorist infrastructure that had been prepared in advance for the arrival of forces in the area, meaning that the entire kindergarten was rigged with explosive devices. The IDF force neutralized the charges and thwarted the enemy's capabilities in the field, thereby preventing damage to our forces. At the same time, fighters of the 179th Combat Team identified 4 terrorists carrying explosive charges and advancing towards them. An Israeli Air Force aircraft attacked and eliminated the squad. About half an hour later, the forces identified 4 additional terrorists in the area who were also neutralized by the Air Force. And at the same time, a suspicious vehicle containing terrorists was detected driving towards our forces in the south of Gaza City. An Israeli aircraft attacked the vehicle and eliminated the terrorists within it. Also, an Air Force fighter jet attacked a military building from which terrorists launched missiles towards our forces. And in the heart of the city of Khan Yunis, fighters from Battle Team 7 deepened maneuver to the south and raided the military headquarters of Hamas, amongst them the military intelligence headquarters of the terrorist organization in the city. The intelligence chief of the terrorist organization Hamas is responsible for all the intelligence operations of the terrorist organization in this region. Amongst the targets that were raided by the fighters, very valuable documents were found. In addition, an intelligence compound of the terrorist organization called Palestinian Islamic Jihad was located. This is another organization that wants to eliminate the State of Israel under the name of Islam. This organization is collaborating with Hamas inside Gaza and is also sponsored by Iran. In the heart of the city of Khan Yunis, the combat team fighters of the Givati Brigade raided many terrorist infrastructures in the area and eliminated terrorists while preparing to attack the forces using sniper and tank fire. The brigade's artillery unit identified a site of Hamas used for the production of weapons and also was used as a hiding place for terrorists. The site was disguised as an UNRWA professional school. The forces directed the Israeli Air Force, which destroyed the compound. And now to Israel's southern front. Yesterday, fighter jets from the Air Force conducted an attack against terrorist infrastructure of the terror organization Hezbollah in the area of Kfar Kila in southern Lebanon, in an operation that included 2 waves of attacks, targeting a series of targets in the morning and afternoon hours. Kfar Kila is a stronghold of the terrorist organization Hezbollah. The organization uses the infrastructure in the area for terrorist purposes, exploiting the civilian population and using them as human shields for its operations. Since the beginning of the war, the organization has carried out many launches from the area of the village towards the territory of the State of Israel. I would like to salute the fallen IDF soldiers who lost their lives so that all of us can keep on going. Major General in Reserves Konstantin Shoshko, 30 years of age, from Tel Aviv, fighter in the 7086th Engineering Battalion, Golani Brigade, fell in the battles in the center of Gaza Strip. Captain Harel Itach, 22 years of age, from Netanya, team commander in the Givati Patrol, died of his wounds today after being wounded on the 22nd of December in the battle for southern Gaza Strip. Let's all pray for the families of these brave young men. And let's pray that God will reign inside the Gaza Strip, inside Lebanon, and over all of the Middle East. And please join me in prayer for the peace of Jerusalem and for hope in this new year, 2024. Thank you for being with us every day, and thank you for praying for the IDF and for Israel.